Come
And
here. Welcome back to The Ether, the show that disrupts the way you think about running your business. Join me, Brandon, and my co-host, Sean Delaney, the creator of What If, on today's episode. Our goal is to provide context around what we talk about so you have the clarity to cut through the noise and the confidence to grow and run a truly harmonious business. Let's jump in and take the next step to achieving business freedom. Hey. Happy Wednesday, my friend.
Happy Wednesday.
Do you dread Wednesdays because we do these shows? So you're just like, oh, another one of them.
No, this is our service to the people, to the good people of the interwebs.
We love the people. We have so much to talk about, but we're right there. We can't talk about it yet. I just want to talk about the things that we want to talk about. But you know what we're going to talk about today? Being grateful.
Apparently, by definition, things we don't want to talk about because
not things we don't want to talk about, but
other things we want to
other things that are maybe less exciting. So we'll tease that again for next week. But this is still exciting. I think this is exciting. Things to be grateful for from this year in your business, in your life. We'll share our perspective. Maybe that'll trigger something from the last year in your business, but it's that time of year, right? It's Thanksgiving.
It is that time of year, and it is important for us to do this occasionally as human beings, playing the game of value exchange that we call business. It's important to celebrate wins, be thankful for teammates, be thankful for the struggles because they forced you to grow, all of those things. So
I want to talk about
stuff your gizzard with turkey.
No, nobody likes turkey. Probably everybody likes turkey. I hate turkey. But anyway, that's a topic for a different episode.
That was a lot. Boy, did you see this guy bouncing between polar extremes? Nobody likes it. Probably everybody likes it. Somebody might like it. Wow. Hello. Welcome back
all
to
over the place.
I'm supposed to be the pendulum in this dance of ours, not you.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, now you know that about me. I do not like turkey. I don't like it in any form, in the oven, in the fryer, air fryer, however else you're going to make it. I just don't like it. That's my thing.
And not even for Thanksgiving.
I will not eat it.
As I've told you, I consider you now a domestic terrorist.
So. I know, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Okay. Anywho, so I want to talk about things we're grateful for, but I also want to talk about, because you brought it up, showing your gratitude to employees, vendors, customers, but not in a slimy, sleazy way. I think we tend to cross that line sometimes as business owners. No. As business owners, entrepreneurs, we're like, oh, I have to say thank you because it's that time of year. But I don't know if everybody does that right. They send out fruit baskets and bottles of wine, and there's no thought behind it, and it just feels very stale. So how do you walk that road with people too? Is it better to just not do it if you're going to go the stale route? Or is it better to maybe sit down and think about it before you show your gratitude for somebody?
Well, I mean, if there was ever a loaded question, I mean, Alec Baldwin couldn't touch that one without it going off.
What I'm trying to say is, what are you getting me for Christmas, Sean?
Is what you're saying. And wow, more of this is what you're getting. So, yeah. Well, right. And obviously, and it's the same way I feel about Hallmark holidays.
Hang on. Like Hallmark movies?
No, Hallmark movies, I know, are your cherished delight.
Careful what you say about my Hallmark movies. Okay, go on about holidays.
I will never trash them. You're my wife, and you can bond on that all day. No, not taking away your Hallmark movies, Brandon. I'm saying Hallmark holidays. Really? We're gonna wait for Valentine's Day and then go spend $8 on a frilly card with lace? No. So you got to be
for 7 years. I've gotten away with it. Yeah.
You have to be thanking them. ChatGPT, write me a love note to my wife. Make it sound like I love her. So no, we're not going to do it once a year because we have to, but it is a nice placeholder, Thanksgiving this time of year, to say If we haven't done it, then let's start thinking about it and wait till we actually feel genuine thankfulness for something before we thank somebody for it. And then it doesn't matter what you say or do. It'll come off in the right way.
What's your favorite thank you or way to receive thanks from business relationships? Let's leave personal relationships out of it. I'll go first so you can think about it.
Please.
I know everyone says not to do the food thing, and I'm fully on board. I would never advocate sending edible arrangements or candy or all that stuff to other people, but it's my guilty pleasure. I totally forget who gave it to me. So that right there tells you how awful of a gift it is.
Yeah.
But there's something about just a giant stack of boxes of popcorns and chocolate that I think it's amazing. I used to get those all the time in my last business because it was a physical business. Vendors would come in and give it. Couldn't tell you who ever gave me a gift, but I know who gave me those 10 pounds that I don't really need.
Oh, all right. So now I know what I need to send you. All right. Very subtle.
There you go.
Very subtle.
I know.
I a thank you in the moment means something to me. I don't like big, I don't save them up. Don't save all the little hugs up for one big one later, big, awkward, overly long hug later. I like it in the moment. And I'm not good with getting gifts. I get very uncomfortable. And I don't like it. I always feel internally, sure. What is this, therapy? No, I feel unworthy internally. Almost got that spit take I've been working on.
Almost.
I feel, unworthy of whatever it is. I feel worthy of thank you. You could have done nothing and you did something. Well, I like that. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for washing the dishes. You are welcome. It was a delight. But don't wait the entire year and then send me a cake in the shape of a stack of dishes for all those dishes you washed. Keep it up, champ. No, I don't like that.
Awesome. So what I heard is I just got out of getting you any gifts because you feel uncomfortable.
You can buy me a beer the next time you see me. That I'm cool with.
That's an appropriate thank you. See, there you go. That's the two things that people always say don't gift: food and alcohol. And that's just what we both said.
That's me and you. That's me and you. But I don't want you to send me a case. I just when we're out somewhere, a mystery beer showing up in my hand is delightful. It's a delightful treat. It's like, oh look,
a magic beer. I love it. But that too, I mean, both of them, you have to have a relationship with that person. I think that's really what I'm kind of getting at here is I received so many, whether it's a thank you note or, as a matter of fact, I got one in the mail yesterday. A thank you note from someone I've done business with. It was pre-printed. They didn't sign it. And it was just like, how many hundreds of people got this same thing? Like, I'm not going to remember you for sending this thank you note. It would have been better if you didn't.
You might remember them for sending
it. I'm talking about them now. So now I'm going to remember them.
Look at this ham-handed attempt at carbon copied flattery. It's terrible. Not a good look.
No.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. So, hey, if you're a fan of this show, I like food. Sean likes beer. Do with that what you will. Anywho, what are you grateful for this year? Let's reflect on 2024. What are you grateful for in business?
This year, here's what I'm most grateful for. I'm most grateful for you trusting me. I'm going to get specific with it, not just that I'm thankful for you, because I don't want
this feels like a pre-printed thank you note, but go ahead.
Right. Trusting me. We made some serious moves in the world, my friend, and have been able to bring ourselves and our mission to a glorious place that is about to hit the stratosphere. How's that for a bunch of big words? Saying a lot without saying anything. So
I knew 3 of those words. That was awesome.
Say it yet? Yeah. So they're good, right? I'll get you a thesaurus.
Thank
with
you.
your cookies when I send it, and you'll be good. No, and that's not a type of dinosaur. So anyway, without this thesaurus, So Yes, for trusting me when I say we're going to do this next. This is what we're going to do. And you're like, okay, I'm there. And look where it's gotten us. So thank you. Because if you had said to me, probably in all the times that you should have said to me, I think that might be crazy, we wouldn't be here. So thank you. It's nice to know you got a Lego in the trenches.
Crazy's fun though. You got to be a little crazy sometimes. How are you going to do anything worth achieving if you're not a little bit crazy, right?
A little bit crazy. Everybody who's done grand things, you can do a lot of good in the world when you're not crazy. But if you want to do something great, like breathtakingly great, you gotta at least be proximate to a little bit of wacko. And now we're like playing with a whole bunch of whack jobs, just glorious misfits. The combination is breathtaking. How's that?
I like it. Yeah. Bunch of whack jobs in a boat rowing in the same direction. That's a recipe for success, I think.
Destined for the land of misfit toys. Nobody wants a Johnny in the box. Yeah. Okay. Somebody does.
Yeah. That's well received. Thank you. I hear that. And I feel the same way. I don't have those crazy ideas that you do. And I see things more linearly. But I think you have to have a balance of both. And if you don't have that, in your business, whether it's internal or even like a mastermind group, to have access to the crazy, you have to put yourself there, and you have to get uncomfortable, because that's where the growth happens. I see so many businesses and business owners who, they just see what tomorrow holds, and they never think about what the 5 or 10 years in their business could be. And that really just stunts their growth.
Somebody has to, if you are unable to push the boundary out far enough, not everybody has that kind of vision. So if you know that you don't, it's good to find someone who can do that for you. And if somebody is doing that, you have to realize that maybe you have to pump the brakes. So the example I'm using is with the position we're in right now. So for what if I'm constantly thinking out there and saying, and because you are linear, then when I say it to you and get you to see it enough, you're like, okay, and now I can build some tracks to get us there. Beautiful combination. But with Human Up, we have several partners who are pushing way out there. They're more comfortable pushing way out there, and they've already been pushing way out there. So they're on the outer fringes of pushing that effort to a breathtaking, scary place. That's the appropriate level of distance so that we force ourselves to grow and to become the new person that 5 years from now can exist in the place that we've now manifested. So we need them doing that. So then I said, I in that situation, I go, okay, well, now I got to come back and lay some tracks with you, because we already have enough people pushing it. If I go there and push it as well, now we got 6 of us. At some point, there's going to be enough people pushing us that we'll lose ourselves and never know what we were even building in the first place, which can happen. I have seen nascent companies with a great idea fail to land that great idea and just keep chasing the new opportunities that their vision keeps opening up for them. And then they lose sight of the original place that even was the kickoff point for them, and they have no idea how to get it back.
And they call it pivoting.
And they call it pivoting the entire time. And really what they're doing is just running through the woods in some kind of zigzagging fashion. And now they're like looking around, and it's dark, and they hear wolves, and they have no idea how to get back.
Yeah, not a good place to be.
No.
But okay, so then if we have a takeaway from this time of year, I think the other side of it too is that you also need to be aware of what's going on with your team. If you are truly grateful for them, for your employees, this is a busy time of year for our personal lives. I see people burn out, or I've seen people burn out over the past couple of years. And I know I've been there too, where you get to the end of the year and you're just gassed. So if you want to show how you're grateful for people, be aware that they have personal lives outside of work, and don't ignore that fact. It's so easy to overwork people just because you're doing the normal amount of work. Maybe you go a little bit lighter where possible. I don't know. That's not a universal tip, but you have to be aware of the human beings behind the business, because if you burn them out, then that rolls into January and February, and you get a slow start to next year. Talk to that for a second. How did you navigate that when you were running these big corporate structures where the end of the year is that push to get everything done, or maybe it wasn't in some companies?
No, it isn't frequently. The holidays are a terrible time to try to get things done. You would think that there's a natural kind of let's put a big bow on this, pun intended, at the end of the year. But that doesn't happen. People start to check out. The holiday parties start happening. The rules get a little lax. We decide maybe we can have a little booze in the punch in the conference room. People are handing out cookies. They're inviting people to their houses. I had a boss at one point would always have a big Christmas party at his house, catered, and the whole deal. So there's a lot of that, and so it would feel, and so because he had to get home earlier, he was going to knock off around 3, and it's okay if you do too, and everything kind of nice, and the salespeople are all happy because they're getting all kinds of stuff from clients and back and forth. Now, I mean, not in a place that wasn't like MetLife I'm talking about, but you can see these things in different places where the salespeople could take gifts and give gifts and all that kind of stuff. I know for my father's own business, same thing. It was like Kris Kringle descending on the office when he'd come, because he had people in his clients' locations. So now he's walking those halls, and and when I was much younger, I would go with him because I'd have to carry in the baskets and the bottles of wine and all the stuff that then would be distributed all over for the clients, and they just loved it. And he's taking everybody out to lunch, and nobody's doing crap. They're all just and so good luck. And if you are the person trying to get stuff done, like I was frustrated back in those times, like, what do you mean? Like, we still have, let's squeeze it out. Good luck. You're not getting any money on the phone. You're a buzzkill. Like, come on, there's mistletoe right there. Would you just relax? Like, no, this happens in many companies. And you would think that some of that is going to be clearly a smaller business if the owner has instilled a culture where we're gonna relax around the holidays, then it's much easier, and that kind of thing can grow. And in the corporate world, you would think that's tamped down a little, but it still doesn't change the fact that everybody's taking their foot off the gas for the most part. Not every single industry, not every single job, but for the most part, which is why we say there's a couple of good quarters for getting stuff done, and there's some slow quarters. Summertime can be sleepy. Some places, siesta time. Let's go to the beach. We're not working so hard. The kids are home, and so we see a dip there. Not us. We don't let our clients do it either. And then we help them leapfrog up past their competition. Everybody who did have their foot on the brake, and then you get another good quarter. Let's go. Second half of the year. Fired up, back on vacation, can't stand the fam, just spent a whole bunch of time with them. I'm ready to get back to work. Let's do this thing. And you get done, and then womp womp, end of the year, Thanksgiving. You could see it's starting to slow down in October in the corporate world. And then Thanksgiving, there's a spike in November. It's after Halloween. We have some sleepy leaf change stuff going on. We got the kids all through trick or treat and all that stuff.
It's spike of productivity.
Yeah. Now we have a little spike in November in productivity because we see Thanksgiving coming. We're going, oh my God, that spells Black Friday and all that stuff. I better quick get it all done before Thanksgiving. So you're sitting there going, this is great. My team's killing it right now. We're going to have the best end of the year. Oh, they were banking hours because they're doing nothing now.
Does that have a hangover effect too into January? Because I mean, that's a long time. We're taking from the last week in November, basically through January 1st to do next to nothing.
Definitely a hangover. It's hard for them to, because just like with anything, if you want to keep working somewhere, do not take that 3-month sabbatical they told you could take to go write a book. Find yourself. You're never coming back. You've built up some tolerance to the toxin at this place, and if you disengage for too long, that beach is gonna, when you come back, you will find it intolerable. Oh my God, this guy still grinds his teeth when he's standing at the water cooler. Whatever the things are that you're like, I forgot how hard it is to be in this place. That can happen. But anyway, so they had the good times. Now it's January, and now if we haven't done strategic planning right, now it's a big effort to try to figure out, so what are we going to do this year? And the clock's ticking, and some people are already running. Our clients at least are. They're poised. They're already out of the gate, and the competition's still fumbling around going, if they even do any kind of strategic planning. Now in corporations, it takes lots and lots of people and all kinds of levels of striation of people weighing in on all kinds of stuff, and then it becomes the big Megillah that it is in the end. But for smaller businesses, if they're waiting until January to come back and blow up the cobwebs and then start working, you're looking at February. Who wants to start anything in February? But February, we're now dragging ourselves to the table going, all right, I think we know what we're doing this year. Unless orders are driving your process. If you have that kind of business, physical products, like, you can't decide when the t-shirts had to be printed. They had to be printed when they had to be printed.
That's why I hate the end of the year. You're giving me a little PTSD. I'm gonna get itchy just thinking about it.
And see, you know better than anybody that it depends. We're not speaking universally, because there are some businesses where you might feel like you wish you could just check out and enjoy this holiday spirit, but not you.
No, and it's fun. That's kind of why I asked that question too, because in that industry, I remember it's industry wide. Fourth quarter is ridiculous. Really, September through the end of the year, and the whole industry would fall asleep in January. And it was always this question at conferences and trade shows of, how do you get business in January, or do you just let your people basically work half days for 30 days?
Yeah.
And it's one of the people are actually so burnt out because of how hard they work that they need those 30 days. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you kind of you just shift it. So if corporate America takes off December, there may be some industries that their December is January and they get a slower start to the year. But coming back from that is the same thing. There's that hangover effect in February and March, that it takes a while to get the ball rolling because that strategic planning wasn't done the right way. The focus for the year wasn't set.
So that's why we always say this is the time of year to do that. You have extra time sitting around. And what else do you have around this time of year that helps with your strategic planning? If you own a smaller business, you have time with probably the people who are the very reason you do the thing that you do. So now you have time with your family and your friends. You have time and space to think. Look out the window and watch the snow coming down with a cup of hot cocoa. We know what I like to do now. And think, reflect. It is a time of reflection as well. This is why I like leveraging. You know how much I love leverage. I like leveraging the end of year time, because we're reading A Christmas Carol, getting a little perspective, and we're approaching the ball drop, the change of the year. As arbitrary as it might be, we've decided this is a time of death and rebirth, an ending and a beginning. Everybody's starting their diet come Monday morning, clink, right? I'm joining that book club. It's a time of new beginnings. It's a natural cyclical time of death and ending because of the winter. And then that naturally begins the new cycle of rebirth. So we've got this already. It's the perfect time to think about, what did we achieve this year? You and I have been doing that. It's incredible what we did in just 1 year because of the way we plan our quarters and the way that we pushed out the vision and laid down the tracks to get there. And so it's a time but now, like I said, so if naturally there's this rhythmic slowing down, if people want to enjoy this time, if people have worked really hard up until that point, and so if you're naturally going to have more space, then let's take that space and do what is best to do in that space that we've been given, which is reflect and plan. Because we know if we don't have the plan by the time January is upon us, we are going to have those cobwebs. It is going to be, well, nobody really works on January 1 because of the holiday. And January 2 is a Saturday. I don't even know. I didn't even look at what days of the week it is. But you know those years that happens where it's like, well, the first day that we're really going to get anything done is the 4th.
I mean, this year, January 1st is a Wednesday, so that are we going to really come back on a Thursday and work 2 days? So I'll see you on the 6th. How about that?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, let's just all come back on the 6th. Let's just do that. And then we'll really get down to it. Dude,
yeah,
you're 6 days in. You are already behind. What do you mean? Oh my God. Because I'm going to be chomping at the bit. We're going to be like caged animals because we already have our plan. We know exactly what we're doing. No cobwebs here. And that's because we're going to have all that energy because we stored it all up. So in the time that we are sitting there listening to the Christmas carols, you're home snuggled up with your little feety pajamas and watching
my Hallmark movies.
Watching your Hallmark movies. Visions of fairy plums dancing in your head. You're going to be storing up all kinds of energy. Why? Not only because you naturally would be doing it in that environment, but because you're going to purposefully do it because that's our plan. We know that. This is the time. Store it up. Gird your loins. And then once more into the breach, my friend. Come January, whatever. Well, you know I'll be on the phone with you at January 1st going like, okay, obviously. So here's what we have to do first. You know, I mean, we're going to be so.
And I, too, am chomping at the bit for it already.
Yeah.
It's not even here.
Yeah.
So that's the tip from this episode. Couple of takeaways. We personally have a lot to be grateful for. I'm sure our listeners do too. Do that more frequently, though. Don't wait until Thanksgiving just to be thankful and grateful. Do it more often. And then also take the next 4-5 weeks to plan your 2025, and you will be grateful that we told you that too. So
close out those projects. Close out your projects. How about this? No matter what state your projects are in, assume that they are closing on December 21st.
First. I don't know what day of the week that is.
I don't know either. So look up what
20th. It's a Friday.
What a beautiful number. Assume every project will be completed on the 20th. Now, anything that's not completed, that's a new project. Because we're not getting any scope creep here. We're gonna assess the projects on the 20th. We're gonna close them out, wind them down. The ones that we don't need anymore that weren't really finished, we'll say let's put a pin in it. It's done. The ones that say, well, but we still have about 2 more weeks worth of work. Great. One of the projects we're gonna do next is a 2-week-long project called whatever it is to finish up the last thing. But I want you to have in your head that it is a complete blank slate. We might have some carryover stuff. I'm not talking about business as usual stuff. I'm talking about the projects that you had. Oh, we got to go. We're running out of time. Anyway.
That's your tip. We're leaving you with that. We'll see you next week on the Ether.
Bye.